You know, it's always difficult when you launch a project, as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have found out to their detriment. You see, what you've got to think about is what you say in that press release. That's the biggest problem. As we saw recently over when they decided to help promote their Invictus Games for next year in Canada, or the year after, should I say, you know, they're out there trying to get sponsorship, trying to get people to back them. And given the fact that the Invictus Games wasn't exactly a mega glittering success earlier this year, or in Dusseldorf in Germany, partly because a lot of the backlash regarding Meghan seemingly hijacking, marching in front of the veterans, turning up late, releasing to the media what she was wearing, right down to the makeup brands. One might suspect that this is more about them than actually the charity that it was set up to be, something that was something of a passion project for, of course, the former royal known as the Duke of Sussex. But what's interesting now is, as we know, his book did become a big seller. But as we pointed out first here on the show, the book really has not made its money back. You know, it needs to sell a lot more. Now, you've got the paperback edition to come out, but that won't scoop up the money, in fact, to make the money, as it were. And as we also told you, Penguin Random House have a lot of problems. But cast your mind back to the press release, because forget all the thing about, you know, the man that he's become, not the prince he was born. You know, we all know that story. There was a bigger issue regarding that particular story. As ever, let me explain. Nice to see you today, and as ever, thank you so much for joining me. Glad you liked the bit, by the way, in the Christmas Day broadcast about the 007 bar at the Hilton Hotel, which opened way back in 1963. That makes you feel a bit old, doesn't it? I go past there and still think it's a modern structure. You know, you do though, don't you? And everybody at that point, you know, when I first came to London years ago, everybody felt that they wanted to go and stay at the Hilton because it had balconies and it just looked across. Now it's not even the tallest building, is it, in London? Just proves how times change. A little bit like the royal story. You see, what's interesting here, if you look at the press release, Prince Harry was going to be giving the profits from his book Spare to one of his charities, Centable. Remember that? Now, what's interesting is Penguin Random House have gone incredibly quiet, but the profits and loss accounts will be released around about the end of January 2024, early February 2024. And this really is going to be an interesting side, because they will have to reveal, thanks to Prince Harry putting this in the press release and print, how much money they will be donating from said profits. But as I've said to you before, a rumoured million to the ghostwriter, remember him, people don't factor that in, plus all the marketing, the publicity costs, the security costs for Harry when he went round to the chat show circuit, all of that sort of stuff sinks out of the advance and out of their profits. So while people were kind of shocked, shall we say, at just how little people were donating into the Archewell Foundation, how much money now can Prince Harry's book genuinely have made for one of his much loved charities? It's going to be interesting to see, and more importantly, perhaps, Penguin Random House may wonder whether people have in fact forgotten. Of course, we're here nicely to remind them. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.